The shocking results of the 2016 presidential election seem to have awakened at least some within America's ruling elite to the profound economic and social crises blighting much of the nation. But how did it come to this, and what can we do about it? In his book, The Once and Future Worker, author Oren Cass argues that decades of bad choices in public policy have sacrificed the interests of American workers in the endless pursuit of rising consumption, and presents a novel set of policies focused on providing the kind of work that is capable of supporting strong families and communities. Oren Cass joins us now. Oren, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
So, Oren, my introduction doesn't really do justice to everything that you write about in your book. So tell us, what is its fundamental argument?
Sure. The book is about work at the end of the day, and it's about the importance of work, not just to individuals, but also to their families and their communities. And then to thinking about, where does work come from? I mean, ultimately, work occurs within the labor market, which is this sort of boring sounding economic concept. But at the end of the day, it's the part of our economy that determines how many jobs we have, where are they, who's ready to do them, what do they pay? And the policies that we choose have huge influence on what happens in the labor market. Unfortunately, really going back to the 1960s, we haven't chosen policies that paid any attention to the labor market. We had this idea that as long as the economic pie was growing, as long as everybody could consume more, we'd all be happy. And in a sense, it worked. Consumption does keep going up for everybody. But if you do that in a way that ignores the labor market, that doesn't pay attention to who's working and whether they can support families and communities, you can end up with both rising consumption and at the same time, really bad outcomes for a lot of folks in society. And I think that's what we're seeing.
And you call this focus on consumption economic pieties, right? And you call what you're proposing productive pluralism. I wonder if you could elaborate a little bit. What is the difference between what you're proposing, productive pluralism, and the economic pieties?
Sure. So economic piety comes to this idea of the economic pie, which we're really sort of all used to hearing at this point. Almost every president, Democrat, Republican, has used the term. Wall Street Journal and New York Times will both editorialize using the term. We sort of take for granted, oh yeah, it's like if the economy is this thing and if it keeps getting bigger, we all get a bigger slice. And that's terrific. To stretch the metaphor much too far, that ignores who's baking the pie, right? It says as long as you get a big enough slice, who doesn't like pie, right? We're all going to be very happy. The idea behind productive pluralism is to say, look, economic growth and a growing pie is hugely important. Rising consumption and living standards is a great thing, but it's not the end-all be-all. The actual core foundational thing we need to be focusing on is more about production than about consumption.
And you say that's the idea that's kind of developed over the last half century?
Yeah, that's right. I think you see it emerging really in the 1960s. There are a lot of interesting economic trends that pushed us to our obsession with GDP. It's how we measure things, kind of culturally, to this idea that everyone's an individual who's trying to make themselves happy, and if we have more stuff, we'll be happier. For a very long time, there was a much more robust sense of what we were trying to achieve as a society that was not just about consumption. And it was really the Great Depression, I think, and the so-called Keynesian efforts to get out of the Depression, this idea that we just need to essentially use government spending to spur the economy. That's when we started saying, well, okay, let's measure GDP, and that's what we measure. And then the really critical factor was World War II, which came right after. When you're in a world war, GDP, who can make the most stuff the fastest, that's pretty important.
That's a good. But how do you respond to those who would make the argument and have already made the argument that, look, this system, the economic piety, has created so much wealth for this country that even the poorest among us have goods and services that the wealthiest less than a century ago could only dream of. And that if you monkey around with that, with the goal of expanding the pie, you're just going to make everyone poorer in the long run.
Well, I think there are two things I would say. One is we need to be careful how we define whether everyone's really better off. The fact that you can get a bigger flat screen TV than you used to be able to get is nice. But if you are living in a community that is seeing the jobs disappear, if your own kids have less opportunity, if you see your health and the health of those around you declining, that's not canceled out by the bigger TV. And we've seen now, really going back several decades, it turns out, declining health, for instance, particularly among less educated, predominantly white Americans.
Declining lifespans.
nationwide, we've now seen lifespans declining 3 straight years. Do you have a sense of how extraordinary that is? The last time that happened was 100 years ago, and it took World War I and a global flu pandemic.
What about, when people say, well, look, statistics show that if you have a college degree, you will tend to earn better income than if you don't. So instead of shaping the labor market or the policies to fit the education and knowledge of the struggling Americans, why don't we rise them up in education by free college, for example, or by re-educating workers who have lost their industries? Why not?
That trade-off you just described is exactly the right one to ask about. Are we going to say, all right, we'd better gear our economy and society to the people we have, or do we need to find a way to gear the people we have to this idea of the economy and society? And it's nice and comforting and requires no trade-offs for anybody if we believe our education system could just transform everybody into the kind of people who are getting ahead. The reality is we have no idea how to do that and no evidence that we can. If you look at the K through 12 system, we've essentially doubled what we spend per pupil over the last 40 years. Test scores haven't moved. If you look up into higher education, certainly we are pushing more people in, but the share that are actually completing a bachelor's isn't moving very much at all. And in fact, most Americans still don't earn even a community college degree. Even among those who do earn a college degree, more than a third don't even end up in jobs that require a degree.
Now, we're almost out of time, but I want you have so many policy proposals. We've basically just touched on education. Give me another one that is critical for us to move away from this economic piety into what you're looking at.
Sure. I think when we talk about trade and immigration and the way that we approach globalization, we have to look at it with a much more critical eye. I think in theory, globalization can be a wonderful force. More trade, more immigration can be very good for the economy. But if you think in terms of workers instead of in terms of consumers, you realize it's not automatically a good thing. That balance actually really matters. That if we're going to do more trade with other countries, we need to be making more things for the world, not just have the world make more things for us. If we're going to be having high levels of immigration, it needs to be the kind of immigration that comes to the parts of the labor market that has shortages of workers, and not, if we believe one of our big problems is relatively too many less skilled workers in the labor market, an immigration system that encourages more less skilled workers into the labor market is pushing in the wrong direction.
Okay, Oren, we've just scratched the surface of what you cover in your book. It's a fascinating book, The Once and Future Worker, a vision for the renewal of work in America. Oren, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. It was a great conversation.